situation in the Red Sea continues to deteriorate as airstrikes by the US and UK have so far failed to prevent Houthi attacks on commercial shipping. These attacks, that the Houthis claim are a response to the war in Gaza, have been ongoing since November and have seen dozens of tankers, bulk carriers and container ships targeted by missiles and drones fired from Yemen. While largely unsophisticated and causing limited damage, with the majority of drones and missiles shot down by the US and allied navies, last week saw a more dramatic impact as the tanker Marlin Luanda was struck by an anti-ship ballistic missile. The tanker, carrying highly flammable naphtha, caught fire in one of its cargo holds. The ship sent out a distress signal which was answered by the US, French and Indian navies, who together helped extinguish the fire without any loss of life. The tanker's operator, Trafigura, has since said they are reviewing future Red Sea transits. This attack follows dozens of other attacks against shipping in the region by Yemen's Houthis over the past 3 months that include a helicopter hijacking of the Galaxy Leader, in which the ship was seized and the 25 international crew, the majority from the Philippines, were taken as hostages. There have also been attempted hijackings by boat and almost daily missile and drone attacks in recent weeks. While the US had initially taken an approach of de-escalation, choosing not to respond to these attacks, early July saw a major Houthi escalation, with at least 21 missiles and drones fired towards shipping lanes and US and UK Navy ships in a single day. 2 days later, on the 11th of January, the US and UK responded with the first strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. Fighter jets from the Dwight D. Eisenhower carrier and cruise missiles from US destroyers and submarines struck 60 targets in 16 separate locations. 80 Tomahawk cruise missiles were fired, with over 150 munitions used in total. Royal Air Force Typhoon jets deployed from Cyprus also took part, targeting 2 sites. But despite these strikes from the US and UK, Houthi attacks on shipping have continued, necessitating a stronger response. Saturday saw the largest attacks on Houthi positions since the initial strikes began, with 36 sites targeted, said to include underground storage facilities, missiles, missile launchers, and radar systems. But whether this will have any impact on stopping further targeting of shipping remains to be seen. These Houthi attacks have had a dramatic impact on transits in the Red Sea and Suez Canal, causing a 40% drop in traffic, but also have wider implications, extending journey times and increasing costs of fuel and insurance, with delays impacting supply chains. Numerous companies have started to experience disruptions, with Tesla and Volvo pausing production in Europe due to delays in deliveries. But the attacks from Yemen are part of a much bigger game being played and have the potential to develop into a wider and more dangerous conflict. Despite Houthi claims that the targeting of ships is a response to the conflict in Gaza, the reality is a US-Iranian proxy war in the region, with Iran supplying and supporting these Houthi attacks, as well as the October 7th Israeli terrorist attack that led to the invasion of Gaza. Iran backs terrorist groups in Gaza, Lebanon, Iraq, and Syria, and is directly involved in attacks on US bases in the Middle East. The danger is that this increasing Iranian aggression in the region could lead to an expansion of conflict in the Middle East, drawing the US into further conflict. The recent deaths of 3 US service personnel after a drone strike by an Iran-backed militia in Jordan have raised the stakes again, with the US blaming the attack on Iran, and this weekend saw the US strike 85 targets in Iraq and Syria associated with Iran and the militias they support. While it's unlikely Iran wishes to engage with the US directly, Iran's continuing attempts to extend its influence and the steady increase in attacks on numerous fronts makes for a precarious situation where miscalculation could have unintended consequences.